Hey everyone and welcome. In this video we take a look at a man that is very angry, hateful man. His name is Lloyd Russell Moyle. You may know him. He was a Labour shadow environment minister.
And I do believe that we have rotten politics, and I'm not using that as an exaggeration.
This man is vile in my opinion, but you'll see some of it in the article. Firstly, let's watch as I prove this man is hateful and angry. Roll the video evidence.
Very dangerous forces have taken over. I think the current party that is looking to take over this country is extremely dangerous, and we will resist their danger at every stage, because the Conservative Party have an aim to break up our country. They aim to destroy our NHS, and we will say no. We will fight them in the Parliament, we will fight them in the courts, we will fight them in the workplaces, and we will fight them in the streets. They will not destroy our country. Thank you, Kent Town.
Yeah, you heard that right. Fight them in the streets. And this man was promoted to front bench politics. Now, Lloyd is a very naughty boy, and he has a mouth like the Mersey Tunnel. What he's most known for is his Twitter presence. Let's read what he said about J.K. Rowling, which is why he resigned, and also the other disgusting rhetoric that spews out of his fingers. The article is titled, Labour Chaos, Crisis for Sir Keir as Frontline MP Quits After J.K. Rowling Comments. Labour MP Lloyd Russell Moyle has stepped down from the front bench. He should step down from politics completely, in my opinion. Listen to what he said. And after he came under pressure for comments he made about J.K. Rowling's domestic abuse revelations. Yep, you heard that right. He chose to attack on Twitter a woman over her domestic abuse claim. See what I mean about hateful angry now? The Brighton Kent Town MP's departure from the shadow cabinet is the latest exit of an ally from former Labour leader Jeremy Corbyn. He resigned from his role as a shadow environment minister, saying he had been a victim of a torrent of online hate because of a campaign by the right-wing media. Right-wing media? Who exactly do you mean? Surely not The Guardian or the Metro or the Mirror or all of the others. I assume you're talking about the BBC, aren't you? Of course you are, you cockwomble. Let's see. Are the BBC right-wing? Obviously not. What an absolute muppet. Let's continue, shall we? Mr. Russell Moyle faced calls to resign weeks ago when he was forced to apologise for accusing world-renowned Harry Potter author J.K. Rowling of using her, you ready for this? Using her own sexual assault as justification for discriminating against trans people. How dare he? That is absolutely disgusting in my opinion. I would actually possibly say nearly criminal. Most recently, Mr. Russell Moyle was forced to say sorry again for a 2009 Facebook post where he suggested Jewish claims to Israel were not progressive in their very nature, and that Zionism, i.e. Jewish people's right to a state, was a dangerous nationalist idea. Reported in the Times. He said, I have now deleted these posts and recognise why they were offensive. Doesn't matter, you still said them. You refused to give the right a road to redemption, so we shouldn't give it you. Or should I say, people you deem as right. We know who that is, don't we? I am completely and unreservedly committed supporting Keir Starmer and Angela Rayner's pledge to rid the party of anti-Semitism. Well, good luck with that, considering you're one of them and he hasn't got rid of you. I have. Oh, and the report's coming out soon. I guarantee that'll have some revelations in it, won't it? I have met previously with the Jewish Labour movement and will be reaching out to them again now. As Labour leader Sir Keir Starmer tried to restore Labour's reputation as with the Jewish community, the Jewish Labour movement criticised Mr. Russell Moyle this week for having attracted constant controversy in relation to anti-Semitism. Wow. And he's only been allowed to leave the front bench. He should be stripped of himself being an MP at all. To anyone in this man's area, I would advise you to get rid of him out of the seat. Just saying. This sort of hate and vitriol has no place in the British society, in my opinion. Last night, Mr. Russell Moyle announced he was stepping down, saying he and his staff had received online hate and daily calls of harassment to his office. After what you've said, I would actually call it a reply to your hate and calls of harassment. See, it's the same old thing with Labour, isn't it? It's do as I say, not as I do, isn't it? They'll call everyone else for the slightest discretion and call them racists, but they can be blatantly racist. Labour are a disgrace, all of them, including Keir Starmer and all of the rest of the shadow cabinet. I can't wait for this report, but what say you? He told Sir Keir of his intention to stand down and support him from the backbenches on Thursday afternoon. You shouldn't be allowed. Mr Russell Moyle said racists should not be in Parliament, full stop, said in a statement, it is with regret I leave the shadow ministry. But owing to a campaign by the right-wing media, my position has become untenable. It wasn't me that typed on the Twitter, honest. It was the reporters for reporting it. The horrible men. Oh, I'm sorry, but this is just cretins trying to blame everyone else for their own cretinness, haven't they? Isn't it? You know what I mean? Absolute disgusting person. I'm glad you're gone, to be honest, off the front bench. We should be getting rid of you off the back bench as well. This has unleashed a torrent of online hate and daily calls of harassment to my office, which has exposed those who work for me to abuse that would not be acceptable in any workplace. Leave then. But no, you won't, will you? You just want to sit around and cry victim. It has also led to hounding and stress. Oh, poor man. What do you think your comments did to J.K. Rowling, a lady? What do you think happened with her? Do you think she just let it wash off her like water off a duck's back? Or did she feel the same as you, victimised? How dare you? From which I need a few weeks to support my team and myself to collectively recover. To Keir Starmer, who replaced Mr Corbyn after the party's disastrous general election. Disastrous? That's an understatement. Thank Mr Russell Moyle for his work as minister and for air quality and the natural environment. Wow, so he's basically backed an anti-Semite. See what I mean about Labour? A Labour spokesman said Keir thanked Lloyd for his hard work on the front bench and wished him well in his plans for the coming months to focus on housing and youth services. Imagine if this was the other side. Imagine if a Tory was caught for any of this sort of stuff. These would have him in jail by now, let alone removed from the front bloody bench. This is a joke. And wished him well in his plans for the coming months to focus on housing and youth services. Do we really want people like this in youth services? Just a thought. Mr Russell Moyle did not specify the details of any apparent campaign against him or the abuse he has suffered. The resignation, because it's all made up probably, the resignation comes, or he's been replied to on Twitter and he didn't like the reply, and that's obviously hate speech, isn't it? Victimhood. The resignation comes after Sir Keir last month sacked Rebecca Long-Bailey as shadow education secretary. He's not going to have many left, is he? After she shared an article containing an alleged anti-Semitic conspiracy theory. Labour frontbenchers denied a purge was taking place against the party left after the end of Mr Corbyn's leadership. Seems to be dropping like flies though, don't you? Still don't think it's enough. Keir Starmer, you were involved in all of this under Corbyn. Your hands are not clean. Now, what's my opinion on this? What a hateful man. It disgusts me that this party would even entertain his membership, let alone to represent the public. Labour are a national disgrace. They are promoting hate while crying about getting hate, just like this weak keyboard warrior cretin. Anti-Zionism is racism, in my opinion. Zionism is the belief that the Jewish people have a right to a state, and why we allow this to fester in the Parliament is beyond me. To any Jewish people watching, these people are not your friends. They are your abusers, in my opinion. Best to drop your support of them all. Even with this one gone, it is rife throughout the Labour Party now, in my opinion. To say to a woman she's using her own sexual assault as justification for discriminating is below the lowest. And to then cry he's been hated on, well, that's just a piss take. Sorry for the language, but it is. Hate reflects back, you moron. Anyway, enough of this vile person. Let me know what you think. I'd like to know your opinion on this one. Is it just another one bites the dust? Hey! Don't forget, if you are new, subscribe, hit the bell icon, share it out. Also, I will be having a members zone coming up on the channel soon. Keep your eyes out for that, and I'll see you on the next one.